Okay, so we all go to these open mics and we perform and such, or we're at showcases. And I noticed this, and I don't know how you guys feel, so I'm gonna ask you. When people when people are introducing you and they're like, all right guys, our first lady comic of the night, or our next female comedian this evening, I personally don't feel it's necessary. I mean, we're all comics and our differences make us, who we are, but I don't think it's, not appropriate, but like, I don't think it's necessary to acknowledge or put so much emphasis on it. Like, kind of like you're bracing the audience. So like, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it helps?
Well, I think it depends on the audience. Like, if there are like a lot of women in the audience and you've seen a bunch of grungy guys come up, sometimes it's just like a welcome. Okay, look, we about to bring some class up here. I mean, I just think it just depends. I mean, sometimes it's not necessary. Sometimes it just might be refreshing and you want to brace it. Look, okay, look, don't leave. We got something good coming.
Because I was going to say, I mean, you're coming on stage, so they're going to see you.
I know that, but still, before you get there, it's like, okay. Well, I mean,
that is so real though, because like, when you said it's people, the host almost says it as if it's a don't leave. Like that is, I don't know, that hits for me. Like, because people get tired of seeing like 9 dudes and like all dick jokes and they're like, they're bored. It almost is like a don't leave. Something new, something exciting and different coming up.
Well, I know,
but I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, I mean, I host a room where it's mostly guys, and it's very rare that a female even comes. So it's like a treat. Also, especially for regulars who don't get to see them except at a regular, paid show. That at an open mic, it's a welcome.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
I
was gonna say, I think it depends, because I think there can be rooms where that can be like a great, like, all right, here's your palate cleanser. But I also think that there are times when it's like, if a host doesn't know what to say, they're like, oh, this person has boobs and it's supposed to. There are plenty of guys out there with man boobs.
Exactly.
But I also feel like it has a weird effect on the audience. Like, sometimes the audience goes for it, but I think that, like, as often as not, you sort of get this, like, it's like seeing a really crappy, like, hitter at a baseball game, and everybody's like, all right, bring it in. They're not going to be that, but bring it in. Like, it's okay. So and I think it's sort of like, it tempers the expectations. Like, I don't know, like, I don't ever go out there and be like, I'm going to be the funniest lady on this show. And so I was like, no, I'm going to be the funniest person here. I don't care what you look like or what you're talking about. Like, so to me, it just feels like you don't know what to say about me. So you're going to pick the obvious one that I'm not a dude.
Ellie, you were going to say something?
Well, most of my jokes are in Braille, so if the MC doesn't announce that I'm a woman, there's no other way that the audience will know. Like, they won't be able to figure it out, and they won't understand anything that I'm saying.
So you appreciate the rampant announcement of females.
Because also, like,
stage,
I'm not going to be able to tell them, so...
They're not going to be able to hear your voice or anything. So we know
I mean, I'm pretty androgynous, and it's very important to my jokes. So. I mean, I feel bad, honestly, for Asian comics, or black comics, or wheelchair comics, because no one announces that they are the first wheelchair comic coming to the stage. They're the first blonde, brunette, like, Asian person, Hispanic, whatever, but, and it's the only time that I ever have seen it is like, okay, comedienne, like, extra enunciation, like, and I think, like, Catherine has a really good point, like, they're just kind of like, I don't know what to say, so I'll just point out, like, the thing that is most noticeable to me as an individual, but that doesn't necessarily represent.
I was at a mic where there were, when you looked at the breakdown, it was just as equal as, like, there might have been 20 comics, and I think it was, and there were 10 guys, 10 girls, and every time a woman would come to the stage, the host would be like, comedian, and I'm like, you've done that 9 times now. And at the same time, I was like, awesome, there are, half of us are here. Like, half of the people on the stage are female. I was like, yeah, we're here. If you didn't know how silly this sounds, like, we're in DC comedy.
Right.
I don't know, like, I've written jokes about it though. Like, anytime an MC has ever introduced me that way, I'll always follow it up with a joke about that. So
yeah, I've seen you do that.
which is like, for the most part, like, in my opinion, that's the best way to address a lot of things that need to be addressed.